been watching Loki. Does this show have a name except Loki? Is it just Loki?
It's just Loki.
Loki. And it's
Loki.
episode 2 came out
Yep.
yesterday. Wednesday, the 16th of June. I don't know why I say that all weird. Man, is it getting good, guys. This series. I don't know. I haven't seen any of these movies, but this show is doing a great job at keeping me interested. Tyler, you were saying that you loved the interaction between, what was the actors' names? Because I don't know them, man.
Owen Wilson and oh man,
Tom something.
Tom
Hiddleston.
Hiddleston? Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Anyways, yeah, they're great together. The second episode really showed off their chemistry, and it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. They're just man, the banter is so good. They're natural.
I mean, they're already halfway through this season.
Wait, is it only 4 episodes?
Wait, what?
It's 3. It's gonna be 3.
Oh,
or
3?
6. Or 6.
Oh,
sorry.
no, I was like, what?
Jeez.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
next week is halfway.
Right. Okay. I
That
actually
sucks.
like these short. No, what? Yeah, I like these
No,
ones
that
are short
sucks.
because
I want more.
because it's like gives me enough, because I come to this Thursday chat and it's like, Mexi, answer all these questions for me, feed me all your knowledge, because I don't know what's going on. But let's walk it back to the conversations that Mobius and Loki have. Like the one that I remember the most of this episode was when they were talking about the Loki was trying to break Mobius's break his faith, basically, right? Because Mobius believes in like these 3 what do they call them? Guardians or whatever?
Timekeepers.
Timekeepers, yeah. And he's like, you don't know who these people are. You don't even know where you came from, or like what's gonna happen once they what are they doing? Are they like, and he's explaining like, oh, they're like planning the time or whatever, right? Which sounds pretty sketchy, right? It's like, what
sus.
the hell? Like it's not, yeah, it sounds very sus. It's like, what? It sounds like a cult, but whatever. They're doing things, we haven't seen them. There's statues of them. Like he's trying to like break at his faith, like chip at his faith, like, oh, they're doing this and that. And then Mobius says like, hey man, if you think about where we all came from, like if you think hard enough, it sounds ridiculous. And he went over and asked him like, hey, you're from Asgard, and then you're like raised by some god. Doesn't that sound ridiculous too? And then that was pretty cool. I don't know if it was improvised or like written down, but it was pretty good.
It was written down. My favorite part in that is like nothing affects him until he tells him about, I don't believe that every person is a good. Like there's always evil in somebody.
Yes.
And you kind of get like a little like, oh.
Yes, I wrote that down too.
Yeah.
It was like that quote is like, nobody is like always evil, and then like not everybody bad was always bad, and not everybody good is always good, right, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was like, oh, that was good, because that's right. No, the extremes don't exist for that reason, for a reason.
Mhm.
Pretty sweet. I love Loki, man. He's so good.
Good.
He's my favorite bad guy. He's a bad guy. Don't lie to me. Oh man,
He's in the gray.
he's in the gray. Yeah.
He's not always bad, and he's not always good.
Yeah. The other thing that I mentioned is we talked about keyboards before in one of the episodes long ago. There's a cameo on a keycap set, and I was like, oh man, I've seen the keycap set. Tyler caught it too. We'll post a link that somebody on Reddit found it, and it's like the observation that they made was this is a knockoff set from Amazon, but it's still interesting that they're using, it's like the mechanical keyboard scene, man, is making it to the big screen, because you can't just plop it on a membrane keyboard.
It is an interesting thing to focus on as far as a prop goes,
Right.
Because it was only there for like 3 seconds, but they obviously
3
put some
seconds.
time into it.
Yeah, for me, I mean, imagine if they got on a group buy to get those keycaps. Like, you gotta plan it ahead, like a year or two. Like that's why they got the knockoffs. Like they probably wanted to get the GMK. What?
They got that marble money, man. They could get those tomorrow if they wanted to.
Oh yeah, you can't make the China factories work faster, man.
You want to bet? You don't think you don't think Marvel can do it?
Maybe. For 3 seconds, they probably were like, "Amazon's fine, guys. Just get it. Just get it shipped. Prime shipping." Oh man. So the episode itself, like Loki is hired to find the variant, the bad Loki, basically. And one of the things that I thought was maybe Mexican explain was when they find the Loki cracks the case. He's like, okay, the variant is hiding in catastrophes because it doesn't matter how much you affect the timeline. It won't make a difference in the report, right? He doesn't call it catastrophe, call it apocalypse, right? Is that what the word he used?
Yeah, they called it apocalypse levels.
Yeah, that's when everybody just like gets wiped out. Everybody dies. So the transfer thing, like when he finds the other Loki, is that like a power that he has, that Loki has? Can you explain what that is?
What transfer thing?
Like when he touched the bad Loki was touching
So
the arm.
he has the same similar kind of thing. But it's
But what is
basically just an enchantment. It's like it's basically they take control. It's just magic. That's all it is.
So it's magic. He touches somebody, he can control their body or something.
Yeah. It's like
yeah, he can shapeshift. I don't know if that's what they call it, but shapeshift and do all that kind of like magic stuff.
Yeah.
He's done a few different things.
It's just basically magic. In the first Avengers, he does it to a larger scale because he has like the Mind Stone. But that's all. It's just magic. That's really all you gotta know.
It's always like trickster magic. It's like you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Because I thought like they were doing because the bad Loki was jumping from body to body, and I was like, okay, they're doing this to save money because they're having two Lokis in the same scene. It's probably like it's gonna cost you in editing and then like acting.
Really? Because when I first saw it, I thought that hand looked very feminine, and I was like, because when they're in the tent, right, in the medieval in Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I looked at that.
This is an interesting place to pick.
Yeah, I looked at the hand and I was like, that's like oddly feminine looking. Like I don't think that's.
I must have missed it.
If you look at the hand, it's very feminine.
Okay.
And then when they start showing you glimpses of him, it's a very like feminine figure too. Like they don't show the body, but it's a very feminine figure.
There was also an Easter egg in the first episode when they had his file on the screen. Under gender, it said fluid.
Oh, interesting.
I saw that in a YouTube video about all the Easter eggs. Gotcha. There's a ton of Easter eggs, by the way. They make one for like every video. They're really fun to watch.
Cool.
It's 2021, man.
No, yeah, it's fine.
Him and Mo would be friends, you know.
Yeah, but yeah. So this brings us to the biggest spoiler, like the bad. I don't know. I don't want to call it bad Loki because they're both bad, but
it's Lady Loki.
Lady Loki. Right?
It's called Lady Loki.
So is Lady Loki a thing, or is it? Okay, gotcha.
So Lady Loki in the comics came after Ragnarok occurs, and everybody gets resurrected, and Loki gets resurrected as a woman. That's it.
I see. Okay. Well, that's cool.
I don't know very much about the history around it. I just know that that's what it is.
You gotta have to hit the books, man. You're gonna have to hit the books. Cause,
I know.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like super confused. Like, okay, now you're Loki, but you're a woman. And that's cool. Like, I didn't know if it was like a transformation or if it was like, that's just a different timeline. But I guess
it's a lady.
It's just Lady Loki.
And they made a point to show he had like many different forms too, right? Like,
yeah,
there's some that look like monsters. I don't know if that's from the comics too or not.
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole like timelines thing is like all jank for me. Oh, and the bombs thing, right? The bombs thing. So what Lady Loki did was collect a bunch of like, what is it called? Time grenades, or what do they call them? I forget the name. But if she made them teleport into different places in the timeline to fork them, like a fork bomb, basically, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I thought she was attacking the TVA. It sounded like.
Yeah, but the TVA is the timeline, right? So that
we don't know what the TVA is.
This timeline.
Like, yeah, it seemed to me like
she was. It was a place that exists, right?
Yeah, but they showed on the computer, on the outdated computer, by the way, which makes no sense. The little like screen, the little line started forking into different places. Yeah, retro. It started forking. So I think what she did was like just screw up all time everywhere. So she dropped bombs to different places in time.
That's what I was thinking.
To make different forks. That's what I think. We'll see next week what happens. That's my prediction. Because
Mobius was like, "Where are they going?"
And she didn't know. And I like at the end. It's like, was it Loki? Don't go. He's like, of course he's gonna go. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
that door was open for too long.
yeah, I was like, he looks back. It's like, should I stay? Like, of course, don't stay, bro. Just keep go. Oh man, but that was a good episode. I was like, oh man, and I didn't expect it to end so abruptly, but it didn't.
It's good. I think
it's
one of
good.
the cooler scenes in this is like, because I know you're saying he's a bad guy, but you kind of get this feeling that he's not entirely bad, like he says. Because when he's reading about Asgard getting blown up and he's reading like what happened and all that, and you see the tears in his eyes, I was like, I feel for you, bro. I feel.
Bad guys cry too, man. Okay. I mean, yeah, I know they're doing that thing to like make you feel bad for the bad guy, and it confuses me. I have to remember, like, he's still a bad guy.
But he's not a bad guy.
Still backstab all these people.
You think he's a bad guy. I mean, they're doing a good job. So that's one of the things I was talking to you about earlier, right? That they're doing a good job to tell you his story without having to tell you his story, right?
Yeah.
So like they showed like clips of his in the clip show in the last episode. They're like, oh, look at the videos. And then this one you're seeing like, oh no, Asgard got destroyed. And these are all things that happened so far in the show. Or not in the show, sorry, in the MCU.
The universe.
So like you could see all these things, right? And it's kind of cool.
Yep.
Does a better job than WandaVision.
Yeah, the WandaVision was fine. Look, they had me hooked up until like the witches started flying and so like I don't even know what's going on at that point. But anyway, that's a different timeline. Let's not worry about that until we have to.
Is it a different timeline? Oh, multiverses.
Oh, multiverse. I hate time travel, man. I hate it so much. But I love Loki. This show is so good. So anyway, so that's it. Spoilers all over the place. Hopefully you've watched it. If not,
you haven't watched it, watch it. It's so good.
So good. Yeah.
So good.
So good. Yeah. We cannot do justice like their banter community, like how they talk. It's just two people talking and it's like, oh man, it's beautiful.
I was listening to the Kevin Smith podcast and they were talking about it from the first episode. Like it's funny though you guys are saying about their like banter because one of them's like, I'm gonna destroy this place. And like the other one, Mobius starts with like, well, you can start at my desk. That's just like,
yeah.
Dude.
And when he's like, why do you trust me? And he's like, well, where are you gonna go? Why would you backstab me? Stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
And they got great delivery, like perfect chemistry, man. This is good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Better than what it's called, Bucky and Sam. But they're both not funny, right? Like.
They're not meant to be funny. Yeah.
This is different. But this is good. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good time.
All right. Well,